Okay, so today we will focus on the equation of the line, how to find the slope, how to find the y-intercept, calculating x value knowing y, and calculating the y value knowing x, and finally, on a second video, we'll be straightening the graph. Okay, so the focus for this part of the video is just the equation of the line. In the science and specifically in physics, we work with the equation of the line that is a straight line. So, and the equation of the straight line has several forms like slope-intercept point form, slope point form, and a general form. The form that we will work on is a slope y-intercept form, and that form is mx plus b is written as y is equal mx plus b, where y is whatever is on the vertical axis that in science is the one that is known as the responding variable. So responding variable. What is a responding variable? Is a variable that it's a variable that in an experiment you are measuring, okay? And then the m is the slope of the graph, which slope can be equal to 0, and on that case, what we will see in terms of the graph will be a straight line that is like this or like this. Slope can be a positive one, positive value. So on that case, so what we will see will be something, a line that is going up, it's going straight up, and then it can be negative. So slope can be negative. And what we will see on that case will be a line that is falling down, something like this. And x is whatever is in the horizontal axis or horizontal axis, or that is known as the manipulated variable. The manipulated variable is found by asking the question, what are you changing? So if here we are saying that, like, what are you changing on the experiment? And we will see that in the experiment, and we will see that what are we changing, exactly what we are changing, or some forms of it, square root, square up to the power of 3 or so on, will be in the horizontal axis to have a straight line. And what we have in the responding variable is the vertical, or what are you measuring? So what are you measuring? See, as a result of the change, what are you? So in an experiment, let's suppose that you are changing the time and you are measuring the displacement of that the object is moving in a constant velocity, let's say, then what you are changing is the time, and that will be in the horizontal axis, and what you are measuring is the displacement, and that will be on the vertical axis. Okay, we will talk about this even more. And then the last thing here is the y-intercept, which is, let's suppose, this value here, or here, this value here, or that value here. So on a lot of cases in physics, you will see that the y-intercept is equal to 0 based on the theory, but then we will see cases when we can, when we will, theory is telling us that it's 0, but actually the experiment is giving a certain value, and that is as a result of that is known as the systematic error in the experiment, which we will talk during class on this or on other videos. Now, let's put this into a context. So let's suppose that we have an equation that is expressing us the displacement versus time graph when, and now we will see that now it may not make sense fully to you. However, when you see this, it will be a bit out of the content. You will not know too much about it. However, we will deal with it in the terms of the equation of the line. So let's suppose that we have d is equal to 3.5 t plus 8. And on this case, d will be in the vertical axis. So d will be in the vertical axis, and t will be in the horizontal axis. The slope or the y-intercept is equal to 8, positive 8. And then the slope being positive will be something like this. This will be the equation of the line as 3.5t plus 8. Okay. Now the slope, the way that we calculate the slope now when we have a graph is, so calculating slope. When we have a graph. Will be the slope calculations are delta y over delta x, whatever is your delta y, whatever is your y and whatever is your x. But when we have a graph, let's say x is here and y is here, and then we have an equation or a line that is represented like this, then we will pick any 2 points. So let's say we'll pick point A and point B. And what we are saying here, each of those squares represent, let's say, seconds here and meters here, represent 1 unit. So 1 meter, 2 meters positive, 3 meters, 4 meters, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. And for the time or axis will be again 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and so on. So now when we are calculating the slope, what we are doing is we are saying what is a delta y, which is this length here, and what is delta x, which is this length here. Okay, so now the slope will be delta y over delta x, okay, and delta in science means final minus initial, so this will be y of b minus y of a over x of b minus x of a. So then a y of b will be this point here, which is positive 5 minus y of a is this point here, positive 3 over x of b will be 6 minus 3. So then we will have positive 2 over 3, and this will be the slope. Now we knew that the slope was positive because the line is going up, okay? We knew that the slope is positive because the line is going up. But the slope can be, depend on the graph, can be positive or negative. So now let's see an example when we have 2 points, point A with coordinates 2.5 as x and negative 3.8 as y, and point B with coordinates 5.3 as x and negative 12.5 as y. So graphically, what we have is something like this. If this is y-axis and this is x-axis, so then we'll have point A as 2.5 somewhere in here and a negative 3.8. And point B that is 5.3, 5.3 and negative 12 point. So when you connect those 2 points, then you will have a straight line, and this straight line is falling down, and the slope of this we know that is something that is less than 0. Okay, but let's calculate now what is the actual value of the slope. So slope is delta y over delta x, which means y of b minus y of a over x of b minus x of a. So y of b is this value here, so it will be negative 12.5 minus y of a is this one here, negative 3.8 over x of b is 5.3 minus 2.5, that is x of a. Now in your calculator, if you enter negative 12.5 minus negative 3.8, you should have a value of negative 8.7 over 5.3 minus 2.5 is 2.8. And negative 8.7 divided by 2.8, sorry, negative 8.7 divided by 2.8 is equal to negative 3 point. If we round it to 2 digits after the decimal, will be negative 3.11. So this is how you calculate the slope of any line. Now, when we have a straight line, like a going straight in a positive or in the negative, still the equation of the line will tell us that we have a slope that is equal to 0. So let's suppose that we have 2 points here, point A that x is 0.5 and y is positive 8, and b is 8.5 and y is positive 8 as well. So now the slope of this line will be again what the formula is telling us, and you have this formula in your formula sheet, is y of b minus y of a over x of b minus x of a. So y of b is positive 8 minus positive 8, so that is a y of a over 8.5 minus 0.5. So positive 8.0 minus positive 8.0 will be equals to 0 over 8.5 minus 0.5 will be equals to 8. But anything that 0 is multiplied or divided by is equal to 0. So even mathematically, the slope of the line will be equal to 0 when we have a line that is parallel to the horizontal axis. So this concludes how to find the slope.